right.
Hmm.
And we're live.
All right.
Happy Campers Podcast, episode number 3.
Yeah.
So,
If you can't tell, we like doing this together.
I like doing it a lot.
Yeah.
Um, we've got baby coming soon, and we were just talking about like our birth plan and like what we're gonna do when baby comes.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, you need a go bag, and I'm like, we live 3 minutes from the hospital. I'm not gonna get a go
Not
bag.
even 3 minutes.
Like with Bryn, we live like
5 blocks.
yeah, like I could probably run to the hospital in
Yeah.
time.
You
know what I
definitely could.
But it's like when we had Bryn, it was like, okay, we lived 20 minutes from the hospital.
Yep.
So we had like a go bag and everything ready to go.
That's true. We had a bigger distance last time. So we actually did have to have like stuff ready.
Yeah. But then like today, I'm like, if I need something, I can just, like I could go get it and be back in like 5 minutes. I'm not, like, there's no reason, and then it's like, I'll be fine in what I have, like what I'm wearing now. But like comfortable clothes and stuff like that. I'll probably pack some kind of bag, but
Yeah, but you could just throw things in a bag last second. Because that's
yeah.
just kind of that's kind of how you pack anyway.
Well, also men are so much easier than women, and I don't mean to be like men are easier, but like
Yeah.
I don't need the like stuff that you'll need for a birth.
Yeah.
Is much less than what I'll need. Like I'm not gonna need a whole lot.
That's true. I just said you need to have a pair of Swarts for sure.
Swarts are sweatshorts. I cut almost every single one of my sweatpants into shorts because they're super dad cool and they're comfortable.
Like your favorite thing.
They're so comfortable. Like I was wearing a pair of shorts on our last podcast that were gray, and they were my grandpa's. Well, I'm much taller than my grandpa,
Yeah.
so I was like, they were like capris.
Yeah.
So I just cut the legs off and made them shorts. Made them into swarts.
Yeah. So you'll definitely have to have a pair of those.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, other than that and your charger, you'd probably be fine.
I don't even need a phone charger.
Oh, okay.
I don't need my phone. But we are thinking about doing the podcast in the delivery room if they'll let us. Because it's not much to set up. I need the computer, the mics, and the camera.
Yeah.
And,
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, but I doubt that they let. Like, we're not going to do it while you're pushing, obviously, but like.
Oh gosh, no.
Prior to, like, once you go into labor, but prior to like time to give birth.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun to do.
Or even like after birth, and we could talk about it.
Oh dear God, you're going to want to do that after birth?
Probably not, but who knows? Maybe this birth will be a lot easier, and I'll have energy. I was like dead after Brinley's birth, and then I remember being like, I need to eat something, and they kept saying, okay, yep, soon, and
they never
it's
brought
like,
you.
Please, I need to eat something. So
Yeah.
we're also going to pack snacks this time.
I think last time, didn't I sneak out and get you Jimmy John's? I think I snuck in food to you last time.
Oh, before we were induced? Yeah.
Because you were like, I haven't eaten. I need food.
You snuck me in a Panera bread bowl.
Panera bread. That's right. That's what it was. It wasn't Jimmy John's. It was Panera bread.
Yeah. And then your mom, I think, brought us Jimmy John's. And then I can't remember if it was Cass or your mom that had a tub of Papa Murphy's cookie dough for me when I got home. Because I hadn't been able to have that all pregnancy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because of the raw eggs.
So good.
I don't care about raw eggs.
Well.
It's funny to me how they'll be like, you can't eat raw eggs. You can't have like,
can't have
sandwich meat. And it's like, why not? I don't understand that.
Because of the risk of like, I think it's like E. coli and stuff.
But for you or the baby? For the baby. It must be for the baby.
Yeah. Right. Because it could cause problems.
Oh, do you need to go get her?
Yeah, I need to go put her back down.
That's fine. We did last time too.
Okay, sounds good.
Our daughter has been having some issues going down.
I was just thinking, I thought we had a funny story, and I thought to myself, oh, you could tell that, but I couldn't. Never mind.
Oh, I can keep them entertained while you're gone. Don't worry. Oh, I can tell you where she's getting ready to burst. She's like uncomfortable and like honestly a little bit needy, asking for a lot of back rubs. So it's kind of like, figure it out. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But yeah, no, we've been having our 2-year-old's getting to be like a little back talky, and that's pretty frustrating for a dad because it's like today we were eating pizza at Haley's parents, my in-laws' house, and we get ready to leave, and she doesn't want to leave, and it's like, okay, well, we're leaving, and then we're having an issue with throwing things. She'll throw like blocks at mom. She's thrown a couple things at me, and then we go in timeout, and she hates timeout, and so I'll ask. She threw a car today. She had a little car, and she threw it, and I said, "Did you just throw that?" And she said, "No." I said, "Did you lie to me?" No. Then I asked her, "Do you want to go in timeout?" And then she just breaks down sobbing, like, "I don't want to go in timeout. I don't want to go in timeout." And it's like, okay, well, like I don't like punishing Bryn. I don't like, I honestly, it's not fun to do because it makes me out to be the bad guy. And I know Haley doesn't like it either, but it's like, we're not raising a kid. We're not just going to let her do whatever she wants to do. So, yeah. So you get to sit in timeout for throwing the car, and for lying. And we only do we do like 2 minutes at a time. For 2 minutes is like that, but for her it feels like a lifetime. Um, but like she hates timeout, but then she just gets and she gets really tired. But then when she's tired, she fights sleep. I mean, it's like we'll put her down and she'll get up screaming and crying, and we put her and it'll take like an hour. Like Haley was just in there with her for over an hour, and it's like, you know, honestly, part of me is like, go to bed, but I don't. We're having some attitude issues, and she's fighting sleep, and I don't know if she's growing or I don't know, but they say terrible twos, and it hasn't been awful, but the whole back talking and and she's also becoming more independent, and I try to view things like when she's disrespectful to her mother, that's not acceptable. But like in an instance where it's like um like she likes when she gets out of the van, she likes to jump out of the van, and sometimes I forget, and I'll bring it, and she's like, carry her off of her car seat and put her on the ground, and she's like, I want to jump, and then she kind of throws a little bit of a fit, and my first instinct is to be like, no, like you don't get to dictate what you get to do, but it's like she's working on trying to tell me, because we want her to tell us what she wants to do. Like we say, use your words, use your words. So I kind of look at that as like a little bit of a win, where it's like, okay, she's using her words, she's telling me what she wants, so I'll put her back up on the van and hold her hands, and she'll jump out. But it's like the whole balance of, especially with, because I'm pretty much the enforcer of the house of as far as like punishment goes, and that's not really by design. It's just more of like the way that we do our household. Like Brinley goes to Haley for like nurturing, and and if she's scared, Brinley will come to me. But like when it comes to doing the enforcing, it's usually on me. And I was just talking about how um, like we're having issues with her. Like we want her to express herself and say like what she wants to do, what she wants, but we also, we want to be able to like
We want
not
her to be
have.
a good kid.
We don't want her to walk all over us. So it's like
Well, yeah.
there's times when like when she throws stuff, and it's like, hey, like you're not supposed to throw stuff. You're going in timeout.
Yeah.
But then there's times like when she wants to get out of the van, and I forget to like let her jump out of the van, and she's like,
Oh,
I want to jump. Well, yeah, she says it in a horrible way that's disrespectful, but she's also communicating what she wants. So then we kind of
right.
give her not a pass, but like we let her. We don't. She doesn't go in timeout for stuff like that.
Right.
And then
Yes.
it's like, and it's not like anybody's fault, but like I'm kind of the enforcer as far as like she knows that when I say it's time for timeout, she's going in timeout.
Yeah, that's no, that's very true.
And it's not like it's fun to do. I don't enjoy doing that, but she also needs that consistency and stability of like, hey, if I act out and dad says this, I'm going in timeout, or she gets a warning and she doesn't listen to that, if there's no follow through there, well, then she's just going to figure that there's never going to be any follow through. Like, I remember the one thing that my parents did a lot of things really well,
Hmm.
but like they were always on the same team.
Hmm.
So like even if there was a time where my mom grounded me for like a year. She's like, you're grounded for the next year. And then my dad was like, yes, like, yes, you are. Then they're on one team when it comes to the kids, like being in front of the kids. But like I think like in like a private conversation, my dad's like, okay, a year, that's a little excessive. He was late to school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like you get so and like the other thing too that I'm not trying to say because like my parents were also good at like calming down, like because you get so angry at your kids when they act out.
Right.
My parents were good at calming down before they punished us because then they're punishing us because of what we did, not because they were angry.
Right. Yep.
And I think that you and I do a good job of that too, where it's like we haven't spanked Brinley.
Right.
I'm not saying that that's right one way or the other,
Right.
but like timeouts have been effective where she hates going in timeout, and we're just using whatever. Like, and every kid's going to be different, so
True.
it's like whatever that specific child needs.
Yep.
We want to make sure that we're molding our children to be good people, and that they're not just going to be selfish, not know how to share. We want them to be able to communicate their feelings and be able to stand up for themselves, but also not be jerks.
Yeah, I think you nailed that perfectly.
Right.
Especially, yeah, because you're right. Okay, so I think my strength is like or my thing that I try to do most times is okay, let's try to understand why she might be acting like this, and let's make her realize that feelings are okay no matter what, but
Mhm.
it's your behavior that you can't just do whatever you want.
Right.
Um, but I try to get to the root of, okay, why is she feeling this way? Is it because of this, this, this? But I forget sometimes that, you can't just do whatever you want. And it, not that I like let her run wild, but I forget that there has to be some solid consequences. And that's why I think we make a good team, because you are the one who's like, we got to stick to this. This isn't okay.
Right.
You know?
And as much as it sucks, even because like sometimes she acts out because she's so tired, but it's
Right.
like we need to reinforce that it's not okay. Even if you're tired, it's not okay because when
Right.
you get into the
Right.
real world, nobody cares if you're tired.
Right.
Nobody cares if you've had a bad day. You
Mm-hmm.
need to act like a normal person and not
Right.
a selfish child.
Right.
So like, and I think that a lot of people in today's society, unfortunately, didn't get that,
You're right.
and so it's all about me and my feelings, and it's like, to be honest with you, like I care about my kids' feelings, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody else is gonna care.
Right.
You need to learn to be respectful to people
Mm-hmm.
and stand up for you need to be able to stand up for yourself, but also be respectful.
Right.
And I think that it's a hard because you don't want to raise somebody who is seeking out like you don't want to raise a kid that's going to be a bully,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to raise a kid that's going to be just an absolute punching bag and like not going to
Right.
stand up for themselves. And I want to make it clear to my kids that like, hey, if there's somebody that's picking on you, I will stand behind you 100% of the time when you
Yep.
stand up for yourself. I also will let you know that you are going to have a horrible home life if you're a bully.
Mm-hmm.
If you're picking on other kids for no reason, that you know what I mean. But our kids aren't going to be that way.
They
But
she already isn't. You
right,
raise them in compassion, and they grow in compassion.
right. It's just making sure that they also know that, like I said before, it's like nobody's opinion is more valid than yours.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinion is not more valid than theirs, but
Right.
theirs isn't more valid than yours.
Exactly.
You have the right to stick up for yourself and say like, no,
Yes.
this is not how it's going to go. This is not the right way to do things.
Right.
And but it's hard too because I don't like when my kids are disrespectful to me, but she's 2.
Right.
Like she doesn't understand that like in her mind the world revolves around her.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else goes on. Like it's
Literally, yeah. They.
and right, but it's like at the same time I think that we do a good job of like reinforcing that it's not all about her,
Yep.
but also like I said, she's 2. So it's kind of a tough balance. And I think as kids get older, you kind of have to shift your parenting policies as far as like what's acceptable and what's not.
Totally.
And sometimes I'm on the wrong side of like that's not okay, and it's like, well, she really doesn't even understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So
But that's where, like, I think my strength comes in.
yeah, you're
Where
more
it's
you're
like,
more compassionate than I am.
well, no, I think and I don't mean it like that, because especially lately, as baby comes and she's been really kind of pushing more buttons, you have really been super understanding of her feelings. And
Hmm.
even after she has to go in timeout, I mean, you open arm with hugs and kisses and I
Right.
love yous, and but I think I understand how her little brain works just because of
Right.
like that's what I studied,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and I'm also just I get impatient where I'm just like
Hmm.
I don't care how bad
It's
you're doing.
hard.
I don't care. It's just but it
Right.
is. It's tough. It's a tough balance.
It is. But
And
I will
it's
say I am very for a 2-year-old, I'm very and I have every parent brags on their kids, right? But even this past weekend, she's 2 years old
mhm.
and we were at a baseball game and she had found beanbags to play with at this baseball game.
Yep.
And there was an older girl who
She's probably 3.5.
probably
Yeah.
older, definitely could communicate fully with adults.
Right.
Um, wanted to take the beanbags away from Brinley. And she looked at the girl and said, I have these, you need to share.
Mhm.
And so then we kind of directed the little girl to go, get her own.
Mhm.
There were older kids even trying to take them from her later on,
I was gonna
and she
say,
would stand up for herself.
Can we talk about how you almost beat up a 12-year-old boy this weekend?
I did not.
Yeah, okay. My ass. Here's what happened.
Okay, so I think we are maybe putting out there that I'm like this cool, rational person. Definitely not the case.
You're rational in your actions, but the things that you say to me, sometimes I'm like, okay, down. Calm down right now. So there was this kid.
Oh gosh.
He was at this baseball game. So it was my company's. It was our picnic outing. So they rented out this little spot, and it's not in the grandstands. It's kind of like a big open it's like a concrete area with like picnic tables and
Yeah, and they set it up to like host. Okay, here's a group is gonna rent this space out.
right.
Yeah, so that's what it's for.
But it's meant for that. But you can watch the game.
Yeah.
It's right down the first baseline. Or
Yep.
the third baseline.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was another kid there that wasn't part of our group. I don't know where he came from.
Yeah.
But they had beanbags set up, and Brinley is 2. She just wanted to pick the beanbags up and throw them.
She is 2, and she was playing with that organically by herself, just having a great time.
But this kid, Brinley was standing between the 2 boards that you throw against, and this 12-year-old kid, he was like, like shooing her, like get out of the way, get out of the way. And then he tried taking the bags from Brinley, and Haley comes up to me and she's like, "That little kid is being trying to watch my language here, but that little kid is being very rude to our daughter." And I looked, and he's just some fat 12-year-old. Kind of reminded he reminded me of myself a little bit. Where I'm like, all right, he's also just he was a big kid.
Oh yeah, and
he was tall.
And what did I say? Like I totally know he's just a kid.
Yeah,
but
you were ready to beat that kid up.
But what 12-year-old is about to rip beanbags from a 2-year-old's hands?
That one, and you were ready to beat some.
I was like, you guys can figure it out with 3 beanbags, and she can have these ones.
She only had 2 beanbags.
Yeah.
There's like 8 total.
So I did step in.
No, I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of you for not freaking out, because I thought we were gonna have to deal with the 12-year-old parents.
Oh my gosh.
And I was gonna have to explain to the other parents how. Well, and you're pregnant, so that's like a get out of jail free card. But it's like, look, she's 9 months pregnant. Obviously, she's off her rocker a little bit. Okay.
You know what I would have done?
You should see her
if
at
you
home.
would have said that.
She beats me all the time.
If you would have pulled that card, I would have pulled hey, my husband will kick your ass, and then got you really in trouble.
I'd have been like, what husband are you talking about? I've never met this woman in my life.
You know how you see that in movies all the time.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's stronger than your dad. Yeah. No, it was funny, and it made me upset too watching that kid. But I was kind of like,
see, like there, you were the rational
one. Brinley is never going to remember that. If he would have like pushed Brinley over or something, yeah, we would have said something like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
But I think about he's not thinking about he's taking bags away from a 2-year-old. He's thinking like, I want to play the game, and you're in the way. Move, get out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were ready to do some damage to that kid.
Well, I was just gonna
full disclosure, she did nothing. She didn't do anything wrong.
I would never do anything.
No 12-year-olds were harmed at the baseball game on Saturday. No, but I know what you mean. It's where you want to be like, hey, where are your parents? Like, you're here.
Well, that was my big first thing.
Well, at first I was worried that I'm like, this is a kid that is a parent or is a child of somebody I work with. But then I realized, like, no, this kid is like
Just some random kid.
some random kid
Yeah.
that came from the stand and whatever. And also, we also okay. So we went to this baseball game. Maybe made it through 3 innings and left.
I think we saw the 4th inning stretch, and that was it.
Yeah, we made it to the 4th inning then, and then we had to leave because the game started at 7. Brindley normally goes to bed at 7.
Yeah.
We pushed her to like 8:30. But yeah, I mean, well, and we're going again on Friday.
Which would be fun.
Right,
We're
right.
going without.
Without Bryn this time.
Yeah.
Right behind home plate.
That'd be fun.
All you can eat, all you can drink.
Yeah.
Water.
Water for mama.
Water for mama.
That's all right. I'll have my day in the sun again.
Yeah, I think it's still gonna be really fun.
Oh, totally.
But
okay. Anyway, back to we were talking about go bags and packing
Right.
things
Yep.
and birth in general.
what a long route we took to get off of that. But yep, bring it back. Bring it
Yeah.
back.
Reel it in. I was gonna make a point, and now I have to try to remember what I was gonna say. But we were talking about packing up bags.
We're so close to the hospital. We were so far away.
Well, this time I know I'm gonna be packing way less than I did.
Yeah, we brought pretty much the whole house. I remember being like, how many bags we bring in here? to
Why
the
do we
hospital?
have 6 outfits for you and the baby? Yeah.
Yeah. Although the outfit that Brinley wore home from the hospital that my grandma made, so cute.
Yeah, it was very cute.
And I know we still got those.
Mhm.
And then there was a second one that my grandma made that she wore.
When she was a little bit bigger.
Yeah, she wore it when she was a little bit bigger, but
Yeah.
we'll have to. I'm not gonna ask her to make any more.
Right. Oh no,
because
new baby will wear those.
It takes a long time to make those clothes, but I think we'll have her wear the second pair that. So Brinley wore the first outfit home, but then we'll maybe have Lake wear the second one.
Yeah, we'll have. Yes.
But it's much shorter drive this time.
True.
Maybe we'll just take a stroller and walk. We'll just walk there.
Yeah, we'll see how my body
I'm
is.
totally
I'm like, well, maybe not.
Kidding. The emergency room is close, but not that close.
Oh man. Well, yeah, and especially when we talk about the size of our baby's head already, which is
Yeah. Well, you like we said last time. You and I both have really big heads. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you a question though.
mm-hmm.
Are we gonna have a third?
TBD. Just kidding. I don't know.
We don't know yet.
So I've heard some people say we knew we were done after whatever, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I don't feel that way. So maybe
Yeah.
that's a sign that we, will want to have 3. I don't know.
Mhm. Well, let me tell you this. When we decide we're done having kids,
Uh-huh.
I'm getting the old neutering done.
I appreciate that.
Much easier on me than it is on you.
Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, I mean, they won't even I don't think they let you
No.
get your tubes tied right after birth anymore anyways.
They won't.
Right.
Mhm.
But I will get the old snippy snip. Because when we decide we're done, I don't want any surprises.
No, that's for certain.
Well, but so I asked my mom one time. I go, "Did you plan your babies, or were they?" And she goes, "Oh no, all of you guys were surprises." And she's like, "We didn't like." She's like, "I don't mean it to be that like I think that we were like they knew they wanted to have kids.
Oh yeah,
They
of course.
wanted to have kids, but it wasn't like we're gonna get pregnant within this time frame. It was like just whatever happens." And then it was very consistent. My Kara was born, and then 2 years later Sarah was born, and then 2 years later I was born.
Mhm.
And then my parents thought they were done.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cassidy came along 7 years later.
Yeah.
Cassidy is so much younger than me. I remember my parents telling me they were pregnant with Cassidy.
Oh sure.
That's how old I was when they told me.
Right.
And so it's first of all, Cassidy is a blessing to our family.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure when we're done having kids, we're done.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like for some reason there's this stigma about, oh well, you weren't planned, but
Hey, as one of my
it is the best surprise. I don't understand why that's ever considered a negative thing.
Well, it's not because everything's part of the plan.
Right.
God's got a plan for everything.
Agreed.
You know, I don't know if he'll listen to this, but I was telling you the other day,
Mm-hmm.
I've got two very, 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 they're two best friends in the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that one of them said to me is some things happened this last weekend with him. Nothing too crazy, but it was kind of like a downer weekend for him. And he's like, there's a lot. He was like, he took the negatives and like turned it into a positive. He's like, look, this happened, and this happened, but like, here's the positives that are coming out of this. And he's like, God's always got a plan. And I'm like, yeah, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how bad it is, it's like he's always got a plan.
That's so true.
And
And even if you can't see what's next, you know
Right.
that you're going to be in good hands.
doors open and close not by coincidence. So it's like, but so anyways, no, any baby is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying for you and I is once we decide we're done with
For
them,
our sanity, yeah.
we'll be done.
Totally.
I'll get the old snippy roo and we'll just nip that in the bud right there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, people have like birth photographers and stuff. I mean, maybe not all the time here, but like people do that. So I can't imagine we couldn't bring.
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about wanting to have a birth photographer, and I was like, no. I see. Bringing like
I would totally do
to
that
bring
though.
our podcast on there.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll have an issue with it. I don't see why they would
Yeah.
because we're not like I know like when you like with COVID, I had to miss some appointments, and
Yeah.
you FaceTime me, and they were like, normally we don't allow the FaceTime, and it's like, why not? I don't.
Yeah, but for some reason, I think they've always been that way about like ultrasounds.
Right, which
For
is
some
weird.
reason, they're weird about the ultrasound.
That's weird
appointments.
to me, but
Yeah, but no, I know people have photographers come in and do their birth like all the time. So
not us. I'm not doing it.
you don't want to do that?
What do you think about having a home birth?
No, no. And here's the thing: I have nothing against home births. I think they're a great option for some people.
Mac and Lindsay are having a home birth.
Mm-hmm.
I think like more power to them for doing that.
Absolutely. If you feel comfortable doing, if that's what's best for your family
Right.
and where you feel comfortable. Some people have a lot of really bad experiences where they felt very pressured into things, which I totally understand. When
Yeah.
you have a hospital birth, because it really is very like, you know what, we got a schedule. We've got people coming in here that need to have babies.
Right.
And so they really do. I mean, you get that part too.
Yep.
But some people want it to be a very natural experience.
Yeah, and like I would be okay with it if our first birth wasn't so complicated.
Right.
And like
That's my thing.
but like it's for them, their first baby just like nothing.
Yeah.
Like when
and a lot of babies do that. Just, yeah.
like
just,
when Kara had her first,
mm-hmm.
and I keep saying names, and I'm trying not to say names all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Because like, and I love my niece very much, but I don't like when it comes to like kids. I think.
Yeah.
But when Kara had her first, it was like in and out in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, showed up at 2, pushed. We were gone by 6.
Yeah.
And it's like we were in you and I were in the hospital for like 20 hours, 24 hours.
Totally.
Just in the delivery
and it was
room.
like, this went wrong. This happened.
Right.
They had to go in and do this. Yeah. So, I mean,
But
for us, it's just not realistic because
right.
with the size of our babies and everything, we just might need some intervention, but not everybody does. So no home birth for us. But
Yeah, it is a little bit weird to think about.
last time we had what are they called?
Midwives.
Midwives through the clinic, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, and that was cool until things got complicated, and they're like, okay, we need to have
Yeah.
because like we worked with a midwife the whole time.
Yep.
And then the person that gave birth to Brinley, we had never met before. Which I
Yeah.
mean, he was phenomenal.
Right.
He was that funny bald guy that
Yeah.
made all the jokes.
Yep.
He was phenomenal.
Yep.
But it was a little bit like you, and I know that like with babies especially, the person that you see during your pregnancy may not be the person that gives birth.
Yeah, and you really got to be ready for that.
But when it's your first, it's like, like I really wanted the midwife to do but then they were like, we've done pretty much all we can do. We got to get
Mhm.
the doctor in here. Like, you're not,
Yeah.
baby's not coming. And
Right.
it's been like over 15 hours.
Right.
And then it was getting to the point where like, they're like, we got to get baby out.
Right.
So
So they really tried for
they did.
us.
They tried for a long time.
And I don't think that we will have that sort of support this time around because we're with a different clinic. They don't have midwives at this clinic. And midwives are really, my understanding is that they're kind of there to be your advocate and kind of push more of the natural things
Right.
and what you want. But, I mean, this time around we know a little bit more and we can stand up for ourselves a little bit if we need
Yeah.
to. But I also don't, we just want this baby to get here safe.
Yeah, and then I was a little bit weird about the midwives thing at first with
Mhm.
with Bryn, but I liked it because one, when you first told me about the midwives, I was like, yeah, no, like that's weird.
Yeah.
But then you're like, no, like they encourage epidurals, but they just want I think it was more along the lines of like having a vaginal birth and like
Yeah.
doing that,
Which is what I wanted.
right. But like some people are like,
Yeah.
C-section, just do
Mhm.
cesarean section and be done with it.
Hmm.
Which is fine. That's fine if you want to do that. But like, and then when I met the midwives, I was very happy with that.
Hmm.
We were so blessed with the first clinic that we had. Nothing against the
Yeah.
clinic that we have now. I just don't think that it's as good of care.
Yeah. I don't. They were just so good. And this clinic or the clinic we went to the first time, they're extremely reputable.
Right. Yeah, it's
like the best of the best in the business. And
Yeah.
you can probably guess what we won't say,
they're out of Minnesota,
Yep.
heavily buried,
Rochester
heavily
area.
roots in the Rochester
Yeah.
area. So, but yeah, no, we were blessed with them. They did a great job.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be good. Being the second one, I think it's gonna be a smoother birth. We both kind of know what to expect.
I think so too.
But
Here's hope.
we're coming up on it. Like
I know.
Really and realistically, I know we've got less than a month, but it could be any day.
Right.
Like tonight, your water could break.
And okay, last time I was under this, for some reason, idea that, oh, she's definitely going to come early. I don't know why I thought that. There's
Right.
no way that she's going to be to her due date because I guess I don't know why I thought that. This time I'm like, we've got 30 days. It's all right.
Yeah, but we don't.
No.
We were talking,
I know
and
we
you
don't.
and you were like, "Oh, we got time," because like, not to get too personal, but like there was some things that some medications that you could have taken the first time around with our first pregnancy.
Yeah.
That we were like, oh, had you taken those,
Yeah.
probably would have made birth a little bit easier. So
Yeah.
we were talking today, and I was like, hey, have you been taking these medications? And you're like, no, we got time. I'm like, no, we don't. No,
and
we-
just to
we-
give a little more context without fully, with the whole passing of everything, you want to have like a,
We're talking about laxatives.
yeah, we're talking about a good bowel movement, so
I'm
you're
like,
not
look,
all backed up.
Because she's like, we were talking. I'm like, do you feel good about if you were to go into labor right now, with how your bowel movements have been? And she's like, no. I'm like, then start taking a laxative
Yep.
now because it's too late. Like we don't have.
This
time.
is why I need you though. Yeah.
Yeah, we have time to take action today. We don't have time to say we've got time.
You know what this sounds like as you're saying it?
What? Me lecturing you?
No. No. It sounds like Pam when she's having her first baby and she's
Yeah.
like, no, we'll just wait till midnight. It's fine. It's
Right.
fine. This feels like a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, okay, realistically, we've got 4 weeks, and could be potentially 2 or we don't know. But my thought is, if you need to get things under control,
Hmm.
as far as that goes, because it was kind of a problem the first time.
No, it was a huge problem. Yeah.
We need to start that today, and not say we've got time because that turns into, oh no, we are out of time, and it's not. I mean,
Right.
but
Nope. But that and like I ordered newborn diapers today because we just didn't have those. I put the car seat in the van today
Right.
because I told you this morning, but I went to bed at like 9 last night and it felt so good. I went to the chiropractor yesterday.
yeah,
It's getting to the point where it's like by the time I've been going on a weekly basis, and by the time it's my day to go again, I'm feeling so beat up and just ready to get adjusted again.
Yeah.
Um, so I had just gone to the chiropractor, so I finally slept well. I had a dream about our new little girl for the first time, and it was like me seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me realize, like, oh God, we have to do like a lot of things still.
We don't
Not
have
and
that.
not a
We don't
lot.
have that much to do.
No, but it's like, okay, we got to pull out the breast pump. We got to get bags for that. We got to get diapers.
Did you ever find that?
That was not one thing I got accomplished today, but I mean that you know what? I was saving that so that you could help me do it. So
Oh, good.
yeah.
Good special tasks for Dad. Also, we got this
Decanter.
decanter, and oh yeah, you can let it down. It goes just like that.
There we
It's
go.
just like that. I thought it was so cool because I'm such a gun nut,
Yeah.
and I also like I enjoy decanters. So I got that, and I'm like, what a cool display piece that is. And it's a
It is very cool. You showed me a picture of it before it got here.
yeah.
And it's cool that it came with all the glasses too, because you like those glasses.
I do, and they got 7.62 bullets in them, which is what an AK-47 shoots,
Right.
and that's an AK-47.
Yep.
Made out of glass, obviously, not real.
Right.
But yeah, it's a cool little display piece, and
I think so.
I don't know, I like it.
Well, good. That's all that matters.
I think it's after we'll use it for the podcast. We kind of like to mix up our displays. If you haven't noticed, it's just like different things that we want to put out.
Yeah.
But that's definitely going down in the man cave after
Oh yeah, I know.
the podcast. Yeah, it's
You
pretty
well,
cool.
you said that's going to be in my space for
Right.
sure, which I'm fine with. Also, cause
Yeah, I know, because you're like, where are we gonna put this? And I'm like, okay. Like, remember, it's like the Christmas story with the love lamp. When he's like,
yeah.
she's like, where are we gonna put that? He's like, right here, and he puts it like in the middle.
That's
of the living
exactly
room.
what it was
That's
like.
exactly what I'm like. We'll put it right here, and I was covering up a sign that you had got. You can't even read the sign. I'm
Typical
like,
farmhouse sign that I just I go, you can't even read that sign, and you go, yeah, I can, and I said, okay, read it.
I was pretty dang
Butchered
close
it.
with what it said.
Butchered it.
It says, "Together they built a life they lived," and I said,
No.
sorry. Together they built a life they loved,
Yeah.
and I said, "Together they built a life worth living." And I'm like,
Clearly a guess.
the actual saying is much better because it's like, together they built a life that like made it worth it. It's like, but our sign's like, together they built a life that they actually like loved and like, loved each other. But I put it right in front of that sign. I think it looks good on display. It'll look good in the man cave.
Yeah.
It'd be-
It'll fit the surroundings.
It's a
little better
fun
downstairs.
conversation piece
Totally.
where it's like, obviously somebody knows like, okay, that's a
This
gun.
guy likes guns and whiskey,
Right.
which sums it up pretty good.
Yeah. It's kind of a cool deal. I don't know.
That whine a little, laugh a lot is from our first Valentine's together. I think it was.
I got that for you, didn't I?
Mhm.
TJ Maxx, baby.
Yeah.
Cheap. I got it at
It's
TJ
okay,
Maxx
you know me.
because I was a little broke boy. Well, it's funny because like when we went on I don't know if we told this story or not, but like when we met,
Mhm.
first of all, I know that she's not a gold digger because when we met, I was broke as a joke. Like
I don't think we've talked about
we
this.
wanted to go, like we met, and she's like, "Let's go out to eat. Let's go on our first date." And I'm like, "Yeah, we should do that." So then I like pull my phone out discreetly and check my bank account, and then I'm like, maybe we shouldn't, because I had like 47 cents in my bank account. So then I had to tell her like, "Hey, I don't have enough money to pay for dinner," and she was like, "Oh, I got it, no problem."
Mm-hmm.
And then she pulled out her wallet. She was a bartender, hundreds, just rolling in the dough, and I'm
Used
like,
to be bottling.
"Yeah," I was like, "Yep, you pay. Yep, you go ahead." You go ahead and pay for this one. Oh, that was so fun.
But we did a swap when I stopped bartending. I mean, we just take care of each other, and we don't keep tallies, and we.
Right. The other thing too is like before you got your job at Goodwill, there was like 3 months that you didn't work.
Yeah.
So I was paying your bills and my bills.
Yes.
But I also was fortunate enough to have a job that allowed me to do that at the time.
Right.
And then you got hired on full time. I said your employer, didn't I? I think I did. Oh well.
Oh, I didn't even.
Yeah, I did, but that's okay.
Okay.
But like when you got hired on,
Mm-hmm.
then it was like, and we both like we've had the same bank account for so long now.
Mm-hmm.
It like like it used to be. It was weird at first when you like first because like I know some people like they don't combine their bank accounts, and
Yeah.
that's if that's how you want to do it, that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's easier for me at least when I'm looking at like what do we have, I can like budget better when I see everything in one account.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe there's benefits to doing it, one way or the other, but I
Mm-hmm.
like the way we do it with
Me
everything
too.
goes into the same pot, and then we pay our bills the way how we see fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes a little bit more communication, like, hey, I'm gonna buy this decanter
Sure.
display, okay, and then you look, do we have the money for that? And sometimes the answer is no, like no, we don't.
But it's also kind of nice to have like an accountability person too. Like
Yeah,
especially for me, because I know like okay, well probably don't need to do that this time if it's like something I want to get on Amazon or whatever it is, But
right,
um, and for us it's a little bit less pressure because it's not like
yeah.
I have to communicate with you all the time what's in my account and you have to. It just works for us.
And I think too the one thing that like with the way that I spend money,
Mm-hmm.
I have usually more big purchases.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't spend money very often. Like
Right.
I don't buy like this thing.
Yeah.
I don't buy things like little things very often. But when I do buy things, it's usually something that's a little bit of like more value.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you on the other hand, you'll like if you buy something from Amazon and it's like $15, $20,
Yep.
whatever. Like so like, but we're good about like because I've never and I would never be like, why'd you buy this? Like,
And I wouldn't either.
right, but it's also because we have good communication about
Right.
like and we don't do everything like perfect. Like there's
No.
times where we probably spend money on things where it's like,
Okay, we
okay,
both need to slow down a little
yeah,
bit.
get your priorities straight.
Yeah.
But that's how well we're a lot better than we were in college.
True.
When
True.
we were in college, I think I had $60 to my name,
Mm-hmm.
and you had like maybe 100.
Yeah.
And we got paid that week. Like
Yeah.
we were going to get. It was like probably like a Tuesday. We get paid on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
so we get $160 to our name, and we go out and buy a bottle of Crown,
Mm-hmm.
a $40 bottle of liquor, because we were like, okay, well we'll go get a bottle of Crown, then we can drink before we go to the bars, and then we'll go out to the bars,
And then we'll drink less when we're
yeah,
down
and then we'll
there.
drink less when we're down there, which is
No,
never the
never
case.
happens.
But it's like we were horrible with money in college.
Mm-hmm.
But then you just learn like as you when you make money and you can and I've been blessed to have good mentors like especially like my dad
Yes.
like asking I'll call and ask like hey like is this something that is worth doing, is this something that and like sometimes like one time I wanted to buy new rims and tires for my truck and I wanted to buy a lift kit and my dad was like I don't see any value in that. Like
Mm-hmm.
my dad's very level headed, like this is purely just a want, not a need.
Right.
And like, what a stupid want. Only because I wanted to look cool driving my truck, and I didn't get it. I didn't buy it
Right.
because it made sense. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. Like
Right.
I could I afford it? Yes, but I couldn't afford that and something else.
True.
Like
True.
your vehicle breaks down. Well, now you can't afford to fix it because you just put $3,000 in rims and tires and lift kit in it. How stupid. And then it's like so. But I kind of going back. I think that you and we're not perfect with money,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we do a
right.
good job of communicating how we spend our money because it all goes to the same place,
Yes.
and it kind of forces you to talk about it.
And that's what works for us.
Right, and like there's been times where money's been so tight. Like we've never. I don't think we've ever like thought about money.
No.
But there have been times where it's like we got nothing.
Yeah.
We have nothing, and and it's like. But that's just part of being young and dumb, and like you just figure it out. And now we've got a safety net where and it's
Mm-hmm.
just that's something that you just learn that you need. It's hard to like because when you get money, you want to spend it.
Right.
But
And
it's
you know
like,
what? I don't think we really kicked our own butts into gear until we had Bryn and knew she was
Yeah.
coming. Because then it's like you don't have a choice.
Right. Well, one thing too that helped me learn, and it sounds really dumb, but like when I was working I was talking to my parents about like I want to save money, but I just like they're like, well, where's your money going?
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. Well, I went through what I made, my budget, kind of what I could spend. Then you kind of realize how much money you're spending on things that you just don't need.
Right.
Um, and like, so one thing I did is like every time I got paid, I would actually give my mom like $100 or $200 of my money, and she would save that money for me.
Mhm.
Um, and then when I got up, it took like 6 months, but I got up to like $2,000 because every time I got paid, I would just 200, 100, 300, whatever I could. But then I realized like when you're um like when you're like what's the word, um diligent or like consistent with like
Mhm.
putting money away, you can save money pretty quick.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
And it's like how many times do you go out to eat and it's $60,
Oh, right.
right, for two
Mhm.
people? Well, it's like, okay, if you think about that, okay, well, if you eat at home, it maybe costs you $10.
Yeah. Right.
Well, then now, if you were to put that extra 50 in savings, you do that, you know, 3 or 4 times a month. Well, that's
Mhm.
$200 a month that you just saved.
Right.
But I don't. It's hard to look at it that way because you're like, it's only $60. But
I
yeah,
know.
$60 5 or 6 times. It's a lot of money.
Totally.
I kind of went on a tangent there, but I think it was just one thing that you and I learned. It was like trial by error, but it was just
Sometimes that's the best way to learn,
yeah.
especially
Sometimes
when you land okay and not flat on your face.
right, and there's been times where we didn't have anything and we've had to ask for help or like, hey,
Mhm.
we can't, I can't pay this bill, or we've had checks bounce, and that's always embarrassing because it's like
Oh, yep.
we
Mhm.
had a daycare check bounce one time,
And we're
and
great friends with them
we're
now.
really good friends
And
with
so and they remember too.
right, and I just remember being like, what happened was we wrote the check for daycare, and we were supposed to get paid, like the next day or something, and then our mortgage came out,
Yep.
and
And this was after I had just taken leave.
yep, you had just taken leave.
So they were super
We had just really
understanding.
started with daycare with
Yep.
them too, like, and then mortgage came out, the check bounced, and I remember Haley calling me, and she's like, "Hey, our daycare check bounced, and we got to pay an extra $20 because they charged the daycare mom,
Yep.
who, like I said, both, I'll say Ron and Amy.
Yeah.
Ron and Amy are really good friends of ours now, and I
Yeah.
love hanging out with them, and like we get along really well, and like, but we were also young when that happened,
Yep.
and it's like you learn like, hey, not only do you have to account for money you can see in your bank account, you have to account for money that's coming out of your bank
Right.
account that you may not realize is like when that's going to come out. Because we were like, oh, we got like $1,100 in our bank account. Yeah, well, when your $1,000 mortgage comes out,
Yeah.
you don't. You have $100. Well,
Right.
when your daycare is $160 a week,
Yep.
so that was kind of like a good learning moment for us. It was also really embarrassing, and I never want that to happen again.
Right. Super embarrassing, but also we had the best people to go through that with.
Yeah, they're very understanding, and obviously we got paid like the next day.
Right.
Wrote them a new check for the amount that we owed them and the amount it cost them for the check to bounce. I think it was like $20 or something. And it's like,
Yep.
and we never had any problems after that because but and then well actually we started paying our daycare in cash.
Yeah.
We
I was
started
gonna
taking
say
cash out
we just started doing cash
because I was
after
like,
that.
take cash out. If the mortgage bounces, they just call us. It's not like our friends or like people we know.
Yeah.
But no, we've it's worked out to the point where we're not perfect, but we do some things right. Some things I buy some stupid extravagant things like this because they look cool,
Yeah,
and
but
we bust our asses when we work. We work very hard,
yep.
and so sometimes like sometimes you enjoy your money,
Hmm.
and that was that purchase. I'm enjoying my money, or our
Absolutely.
money, I should say.
Absolutely.
Do you want to do some of these cards?
Yeah, let's do a
I
couple
think we haven't
questions.
done any of these cards yet. And
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh, we should do some cards, but we just kind of get on a tangent and
Well,
talk
that's
forever.
that's what this is all about, really.
I don't want to do that one.
Oh, okay. Right out the gate.
What do you wish you had more time for?
Well, honestly, more family time. I could
Yeah,
I could never have enough family time, I don't think.
yeah,
And I get it so often, especially when I'm working from home.
yep,
Um,
yep,
but if I could spend my days with just us at home or like going out and doing something as a family, I'd be super happy.
yeah. For me, it's I wish I had more time to get the heck away from you guys. No, leave me alone, you psycho. No, no. I would say I wish that I could dedicate more time. Um, we get a lot of family time in the winter because
True.
I'm not so busy. But during the summer, I feel like I miss a lot. Like I'll go like 3 or 4 or 5 days without seeing Bryn because I leave
Right.
before she gets up and I'm home after she goes to bed. And now obviously we've been fortunate enough lately where I haven't had to be gone so much,
Right.
but you never know when that's going to start up again
I
because when
know.
I'm needed, I gotta be there. And
Hmm.
so I wish that but it's you make sacrifices for certain reasons, and like I'm very focused on one. I think we have a good home life balance, like, and I
I
know
think
that
so
if
too.
we didn't, you would tell me like, hey, I need you home more,
Yes.
because there's not a job in the world that I would do over my marriage.
Hmm.
So if you were like, hey, you're gone too much, we would figure something out.
Right.
But I also know your support. Like I'm very focused on my career right now,
Hmm.
and it's paid off quite a bit
Right.
with things that have happened with, the job I have, and like I said, I'm so blessed with the company I work for, and especially the boss that I have. Um, we're just so lucky,
Hmm.
and even on days that weeks that I've had to work, upwards of almost 70 hours, you've been super understanding. But I do wish that I had more time because it does it stinks when you leave the house at 6 o'clock in the morning and you get home at 9 o'clock at night and you're like, well, kids are asleep. I'm not gonna wake her up.
Right.
And then I'm so tired, I pass out. So even if she does wake up, I don't wake up because
Hmm.
I need to get sleep. I got to get up early, and
Right.
um, so I do wish that I had more time for family, but I know that like the way that we balance that now, and we really do a good job of taking like we'll take time for each other.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that like I know that, and like we talked about this before, you feel comfortable enough with me now that if there was a problem, you would tell me.
Yes.
And I think that when I am home, I think some of the times, like, if somebody's gone a lot for work or for whatever reason,
Hmm.
when they're home, they're not actually home. They're
Yeah.
like in another space. And I think
Yes.
I do consciously try really hard to, like when I'm home, I'm there, I'm
You drop
present.
it at the door
I
and
drop,
you're
yeah,
you're
any stress I
yes.
have from work or whatever, I drop at the door, and I'm there for family.
Yes. You do a great job of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful for the job that you have now because before it was like you'd have to get on a plane and we'd have like a 12-hour notice that you were going to be gone for like 3 days.
Right.
And that works for some people. And it's not, and we would have figured it out.
Yeah.
But it's easy to be understanding of you when I see how hard you're working too.
And with this job, I would say that it's better for me to be gone during the day and home at night
Totally.
than gone for days at a time.
Oh yeah.
We've been blessed with my employers with, um, you know, opportunities that I've gotten as
Yes.
far as like I got into management at a really young age, and
Yep.
I excelled because I was just good with people, I'm good at management.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't think that I would have gotten that opportunity. I worked for a company that was relatively small.
Yeah.
They gave me a chance. I did very well.
Mhm.
And then when I decided to move on from that company, I was able to get the job that I have now.
Yep.
And it was because I had the management experience I managed, I'm 6 people,
Mhm.
which for a small company, and for a young 24-year-old
Yeah.
kid, it's a lot of people. 23. I was 23.
Yeah, you were younger than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I might have
Mhm.
even been, I don't remember, 20, 22, 23, something. I was young,
Mhm.
but I learned that, if you carry yourself in a demeanor that's, you don't necessarily have to know everything, but when you put off, and it's not confidence because it's not like a fake confidence. It's just put off a calm demeanor of like, hey, like everything's gonna be okay. Every problem has a solution. People tend to be like, okay, like we can get behind this guy because he's at least if he doesn't know the answer, he'll get us an answer,
Mhm.
and that's just kind of, anyways, I was blessed with my first company to get the opportunity to go to management, and
That's
then
true.
I'm blessed with the company I am now to have the job I have, and and the responsibilities that I have at the age that I am.
Mhm.
But it's also because a lot of times when people ask me how old I am, they don't believe how old I am because they're like, you act like you're 10 years older than you are. Well, it's because I've been very fortunate. I got a lot of good life experiences,
Mhm.
but I also had to work a lot. I had to be gone a lot,
Right.
but it was good for my career, and I know that you've understood that, and
Of
it's been a good
course.
thing for us. This one's funny. I'm going to ask this one. It's funny to me, but I know the answer to it.
Okay.
The first time we met, who spoke first?
Definitely you.
Yeah, because I came up to you. I was like, oh. I remember. I don't know if we told this story, but I remember. It. I was at the bar and I walked to the back bar of. There was a bar that everybody went to, and they had like a back bar that you could go to that like wasn't as busy.
Yeah.
And I walked back there, and you were standing there by yourself, and it was like there was like a beam of light. It was like dark beam of light right on top of your head. And I remember being like, "Oh my gosh!" And you were like laughing with the bartender by herself, getting a shot by herself.
Yeah. That was like a thing I
Yeah.
used to do.
And so I like snuck up all creepy to her, and I
You
was like,
okay?
wasn't
No.
wasn't creepy, but I was
No.
like, I did. I was like, you have the most beautiful smile I've ever seen. Hook, line, and sinker. Got her phone number.
Yeah.
I was like, got a kiss. Kissed her at the bar
Yep.
because I was just a little player,
I just
Um,
remember a handsome white hat,
yeah,
just laying it on thick.
I was. And then I remember when you were leaving, your friend who was actually in our wedding,
Yep.
was a bridesmaid in our wedding. She was like, "You're not talking to her right now," and I was like, "I already got her number. What up?" Like, bye. Like I remember being like, "I don't care what you say," but I didn't know her. She's a sweetheart.
Right.
Um, Heads up or shout out to Erica for
Yep.
being she was very good.
Erica's literally been there since day one.
She was a good friend, and she protected you from some guy at the bar.
Yes.
At
Yeah.
the time, that's what I was. But I do remember her
Yes.
being like,
And how was she supposed to know that you'd be my husband?
right.
You know?
We'd be doing the Happy Campers podcast like
Yeah.
7 years later, 6 years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was funny. Where I was just like, and I was kind of like just a dumb kid. I'm like, I don't care. I got her number already. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be texting her later. Don't worry. It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
That's a great story.
All right, we got time for one more because we're at 57 minutes already.
Okay.
No.
We got to end on a good one.
See, some of these are like, they're like philosophical. Like, what's out of balance in your life? Who cares? Come on, let's make it fun. See,
Being a
like,
stingo with
yeah,
the.
I am, because it's like, who would you like to run into at the airport?
Oh,
What
yeah.
a
That's
stupid question that is.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fair.
what are the best 3 movies we've watched together? I can tell you right now, one of them's going to be The Notebook.
Oh, yeah. I love that one. And
Yeah.
that's like. Couples are probably like, that's our movie. But, like, that's like our movie to me.
Every couple's like, that's my movie. The Notebook.
That's our movie. Maybe Hot Rod.
Hot Rod is so funny. I love Hot Rod. Bill Hader is hilarious. If you don't know who Bill Hader is, watch like Bill Hader highlights. He is one of the funniest people ever to ever exist.
And you probably do know who Bill Hader is, but you maybe don't know his name.
He's never been like the main character in anything.
Right.
He's always like the hilarious
But he
side
should
character.
be.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny.
Yeah.
He does have a show out on, I don't know if it's HBO or it's called Barry.
But isn't it serious?
It is, but it's kind of not.
Okay.
But it's pretty good. Barry's pretty good.
Okay, so those two are. But what's a third? I'm trying to think of ones that we.
Right. I
You
would say
know?
The Notebook we watch quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hot Rod is hilarious.
Always like a good.
It's always a good one. We're very into like comedy movies.
Yeah.
For me, I would say Step Brothers because I just love that movie. It resonates.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
But it's not like a serious movie, but
No, it doesn't have to be a serious movie though.
right.
I'm trying to think of a third. I know that there's like go-to movies that we
Tommy
watch.
Boy.
That's a great one. We're our type of movies are really like comedy and
Right.
rom-com, like chick
Right.
flicks.
I'm okay. I'm gonna tell a story, and I'm not gonna get into detail.
Okay.
you remember this story?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to get into detail,
Okay.
but I will say that when we were dating, we were watching the movie Tommy Boy, and we were we weren't really watching the movie. We were kind of our lips were touching. I'll say that. And there's that part where he's like, it's Chris Farley, and he's like, there's like that overhead crane, and his dad's like got all these executives with him, and he's like dodging the crane head. He's like doing this, and then they all turn around. And then he goes, first of all, this is the part that's coming up. We're like making out hardcore.
Yeah.
And I hear this part coming up, and in my head I go, oh dear God, don't laugh. Don't laugh. But the part he's like dodging this thing, and then his dad and all these executives turn around. He goes, and he's like, I was just checking the rotary nozzle on the, I'm retarded. And when he said, when that line came out, I bursted out laughing. And I remember you were like, are you kidding me? Really? It totally ruined like the moment. It was so funny.
Yeah, so that would have to be our third because that holds a special.
Yeah, it holds a special.
story.
Okay, we'll kick Step Brothers out, but we'll go with The Notebook.
Okay.
I can't believe Hot Rod is in their top 3, but it is so funny.
It is.
And then Tommy Boy. It's so funny. I love that movie. We should watch that movie.
We should. That'd be a good one.
Well, that was an hour. I think our first one was like an hour and our first one was like 40 minutes. Our second one was like an hour 20. So we'll split the difference here and cut it off at an hour.
That sounds good.
I enjoy it. I know that like we're not necessarily funny the whole time, and
we're probably not the most entertaining. We might not have topics that capture your attention.
And we'll get better at like I think we're gonna get like an outline of topics that we can bring up and talk about. But it's just such genuine conversation that I enjoy doing it. I know we talk about our kids a lot, and I know especially since you're pregnant, we're talking about birth. But I love doing this. It's so fun to me.
Me too.
So well, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing another episode soon, but
yep.
We're gonna wrap up the Happy Campers podcast, episode number 3.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.